Welcome back to First Issues. Last week on the program, we started a series on the listing value proposition featuring the Botswana Stock Exchange to highlight why one would want to list that company on a stock exchange. Our guest that evening, CEO at the BSE, Tumelo, highlighted, amongst other benefits, the advantage of being able to raise capital for your company. Our local stock exchange, the BSE, has 44 companies listed on it. We bring to you CEOs of two of these companies to talk about their experience on the Botswana Stock Exchange. Our guests are AFINTAS Limited Executive Director Leutlwetse Tumelo and Seedco International General Manager Sam Ruwisi, who both share why they initially listed their companies on the BSE.
Our listing was a way of raising startup capital that we needed to be able to roll out the company and pursue our objective of building an investment holding company that has a diverse portfolio of various Africa-focused businesses.
In Seedco, what we did was, because we were actually aggressively growing in Africa and looking to grow in Africa because we wanted to diversify our risk out of Zim, we came onto the Botswana Stock Exchange through a listing by introduction. And the reason why we wanted to do this was to give the shareholders access to them investing on the Seedco share through investing in an agriculture entity, because it was not there. There's no company which is in the agriculture sector which is listed on the Botswana Stock Exchange.
The listing was key because it allowed us to be able to access a wider pool of investors that we would not have been able to access had we been a private entity. This allowed us to engage with various institutions that invest on the Botswana Stock Exchange and allowed us to raise about $9 million as capital to begin the company.
Both gentlemen say they found the process of listing to be fairly straightforward, with vast advantages to date.
The process of listing on the Venture Capital Board of the Botswana Stock Exchange is, I would say, fairly straightforward. The primary objectives are for you to be able to provide financial forecasts for a number of years. You are also required to meet a minimum number of shareholders as required by the listing rules. We were successful in meeting all of those, and once those conditions were met, we were able to list on the BSE.
R&D is such a big cost driver in our business. We obviously wanted to have access to capital is and when, and if we want to raise additional capital, we can obviously go onto the market, given the attractiveness of the capital markets here in Botswana, to raise money to fund our R&D as we are expanding in Africa.
In terms of our strategy, as a business, we believe that there is a unique opportunity to build a Botswana company that gives its shareholders exposure to opportunities across the African continent. The company becomes a vehicle through which investors who are keen to get exposure to Africa, whether the investors are domiciled in Botswana or outside Botswana, can invest through AFINTAS to be able to get a broad exposure to the continent.
Why Botswana Stock Exchange? Because it's very attractive with access to capital, which is quite attractive for any African business that is looking to do business here in Africa.